wax your armpits, man.
It's midnight somewhere, though, right?
Is this going to be our first X-rated episode?
There could be. I mean, I have pants on.
I mean, we have to give a content warning that there's nipples in this episode now.
What is your setup? You're laughing.
Yeah, is this?
In front of
No, I
me.
want to know. Is this your first two-camera guest?
Oh shit! How do you switch between two cameras?
Yeah,
That's cool.
This is a multi-camera kind of event, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4.
These boys only want the best of. They want the cream of the crop. They don't want none of that microbait shit. They want the shit that pops. Oscar bait, black and white. Maybe something French. If it's got more than one explosion, honey, put that shit on the bench. Oscar Wieners, Oscar Wieners, Oscar Wieners. These boys are the Oscar Wieners.
Yum, yum.
Oscar Wieners.
Welcome to Oscar Wieners,
Welcome.
the only show on the internet where orange juice on ice is nice.
That is
Nice. I do like that jingle.
I am one of your hosts, Riz.
And I'm one of your hosts, Ratsy. And joining us this week, we have our very first return guest.
Two Timers Club.
Ryan Adams.
Whoa.
Welcome to the show, bud.
Whoa! I don't know what time it is. Maybe it's midnight.
Very good. Now, since a lot has happened since the last time we saw you. You won another Oscar for Brave Little Toaster 2.
I did get another Oscar for Brave Little Toaster. The second, yeah.
That's big, man. Congratulations. No, you're fianced now.
Yes.
So just let it be known that appear on the Oscar Wieners show, and we'll make your dreams come true.
That's true. It's a big help. Thanks for that first episode. That really, the whole time I was doing that episode, I was just thinking how I need to propose. Like, it has to happen. So that's what was going on in my head that whole episode, at least.
Rain Man will do that to you.
Yeah, Rain Man will do that. Just a quick little conversation about Rain Man that'll really get you thinking.
Tom Cruise, you heard it first. Come on the show. Come on the show and make your dreams come true.
We'll make his dreams. Nice.
I guess I should have introduced the movie, but we're talking Midnight Cowboy, of course. Of course. You read the title of
You
this
know what's up.
episode. You know what's up.
Come on. Is that your first rodeo, cowboy?
Yeah, we're talking about the 1970 Best Picture Oscar winner, Midnight Cowboy. Let me just pull up some shit. Directed by John Schlesinger. Ever heard of him?
No, not before this.
He did Marathon Man. He's around. Sunday Bloody Sunday. And Midnight Cowboy stars John Voight, a baby-faced John Voight as Joe Buck. A Texas native who decides just he's like, you know what I should be doing? He works at like a diner or whatever. He's like, I should be having sex with old ladies in New York City and making money
and getting paid
and getting paid.
Great plan.
So he goes to New York City and things don't quite go how he planned, and he eventually befriends local pickpocket Ratso Rizzo, played by Dustin Hoffman, a sort of kind of down on his luck, basically unhoused guy who sort of just wanders the city looking for things that just basic necessities to keep himself alive,
ways to survive.
And that's like basically it. It's just these guys kind of slowly befriending each other and hanging out.
I think before we get into it, I think we gotta clear the air a little bit and get something out of our system. Ryan, can I just give me a good I'm walking here?
You got it. I'm walking here.
Nice, very nice. Mike, give me a I'm walking here, but it's on Broadway.
Ooh.
I'm walking here.
Nice, very good.
Nice.
Ryan, give me I'm walking here, but you're also the first man to land on the moon.
Ooh, I'm walking. Yeah.
That was
Nice.
good. That was
Very
really good.
Mike, give me I'm walking here, but the killer's right behind you and you're fumbling with the keys.
I'm walking here.
Ryan, give me I'm walking here, but Sharon's leaving you and she's taking the kids.
I'm walking here.
Mike, give me I'm walking here, but you're sounding it out for someone who really can't understand you.
I am walking here.
Ryan, give me I'm walking here, but you're Christopher Walken answering roll call.
Oh. I'm walking here.
Mike, give me a walk in here, but the doctor says you're gonna be able to walk again.
Oh.
I'm walking here.
God, that's beautiful. All right.
Good.
All right, now we could start, really.
Nice.
I believe. All right. That felt good.
Ryan, have you seen Midnight Cowboy before? What's your relationship to Midnight Cowboy?
I've seen it twice before this. Once, again, really young with my dad. Once on my own in college, and now this time.
Gotcha. And
the first time I don't really remember. Second time in college, I remember the whole thing straight through, and then obviously the rewatch.
How young is really young?
I don't know. Probably too young for that movie. Probably like 12.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, I mean,
12.
this is the first. Was this X? This was X-rated, supposedly, allegedly.
Really?
was it?
When it came out, I believe it was X-rated. I don't know what for. It's just something I've seen in periphery.
I can see that just because it's like men have sex in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, psh, that's obviously disgusting, X rating or whatever. This is obviously smut.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Given
it sure
mix,
is.
It gets an automatic X in
But it is-
1969. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect year.
Ryan, I mean, what are your feelings about this movie?
I
Having
enjoy
seen it
it.
3 times.
I love it. I think it's a great watch every time. I think the pacing's perfect. I don't think there's ever like a dull part where like you can zone out. I feel like you have to kind of be paying attention the whole movie just because there's a lot of those like dream layers and fantasies and what's real, what's not real.
You know, this is why film is cool, is because I'm pretty sure like those like flashback dream sequences are in black and white.
Some of them are, yeah.
So it's like they're using like different film stock to film those. Like you're not just like you're just not adding black and white in post, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's I don't know. That's just like a level of effort that I love.
I think there's a lot of thought into there definitely is thought into like what the dreams mean and probably what lenses they use and what film stock.
Right.
Like something that's like a dramatic like that really did happen or something that happened only in his head. Like I think they definitely put a lot of thought into how each of those flashbacks or dream scenarios were portrayed on film.
Totally.
They didn't have like Adobe After Effects or anything.
Oh, there's tons of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. You didn't see like I think Lightning McQueen drives by in one scene.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, my version, I don't know where you watched yours, but I had a big Adobe watermark on mine the whole time. It was just watermarked with Adobe, so I don't know.
That's amazing. Yeah, they're still on the free trial, I guess. The only Oscar Best Picture winner to still have the Adobe free trial.
It took 36 days to render that, but it was free, so it was a free thing.
And Andrew just come out with it.
I think this movie is fucking awesome. This is like one of the best things I think I've ever seen. This is by far the best picture winner I think that we've done so far. Yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like the pacing right from the get-go, like we're just moving. We're just going. Like
right away.
That's the best opening 2 minutes and probably opening 15 minutes even like that I've ever seen out of any movie. Like you start with the kid on the seesaw and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's just like it's
this?
zooming out, right?
Yeah.
It's like such a
It's like mysterious. It doesn't hold your hand. It does a lot of showing and very little telling. Like it's never explained what Joe Buck's relationship is with his grandmother, all that stuff. Like it just shows it through flashbacks. And maybe some people find it annoying. I thought it was really entertaining, like Ryan said. I think it just moves very quickly. And the music is great. It just keeps me locked in the whole time, and that's what I need.
I agree with you. Those first 15 minutes where he's just getting to New York City. First of all, I didn't expect that. I thought the movie was going to start with him like just having just arrived in New York City. So like when there's just 15 minutes of him walking around and like going to his old diner and telling like the dishwasher like, "Hey, I'm leaving." He's like, Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Um,
And even that beginning scene is like it's so emblematic of how delusional he is and how
Yeah.
overly optimistic he is because he's
Totally.
like envisioning it happening. I had to watch it a couple times to really pick up on that. But he's imagining like all the people that he works with at the diner, like, and they're, they miss Joe Buck and they're like,
Yeah.
where's Joe Buck? He needs to clean the dishes. But that's
Yeah.
just his perception. And then he gets there and he's like, I'm quitting, and they're like, okay,
Okay.
bye.
Right.
that's a good point. I didn't really pick up on that. That's a good point.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Also an excellent use in the first 15 minutes. They use the Harry Nilsson song like
Yeah.
25 times, but
Yeah.
it's so good.
It
Every
is
time it comes
every
on, I'm
time.
like, great,
Every
so good.
time.
Love this song.
It really straddled that line, I will say. Like it's probably, I don't know, 8 times in the movie.
It's a
like
lot.
actually, yeah. Like when it got to the end, I was like, okay, I still love it, but maybe you got a different song, right? Like the soundtrack is just Harry Nilsson, and that's fine. Hey,
That guitar though is so evocative,
I
like
know.
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 and like you're just like, I don't know.
truly.
It's such a. I will get to the psychedelic kind of Andy Warholish party near the end. But this movie is so emblematic of its time.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a very like when the Academy chose this as the best picture, they're probably like, wow, the kids are gonna love this pick because it feels like a movie for a younger audience, like kind of like hippie-ish, sort of like radical thinking audience. Like this isn't your daddy's shit, you know? This isn't your
No,
fucking John Wayne bullshit. This is like this is using the cowboy figure to explore just like how fragile masculinity really is.
Yeah.
then that's awesome. That's punk rock, baby.
That's
Yeah.
punk.
Yeah. Mommy and
Um,
Daddy would not approve of this, so we're gonna make it Best Picture, okay?
what do we think of when he hooks up with that old lady, the first old woman?
Honestly, kind of hot.
I knew it. I knew you were going that way.
Like
Am
it's
I wrong?
the like it's the whole just the whole like setup is hot.
Yeah, the setup is
Yeah.
it's because it's so interesting and like you don't see anything like that. I've never seen anything like that in any movie.
I
Any
do.
like, you
I
know.
do love when when she's talking to her, I assume husband on the phone,
Yeah.
and she kept saying like the dog wants to say hi, and listening to Maury the husband talking to the dog, he says, "Hello, you goddamn dog. Hello, woof woof, you goddamn dog."
That is such a good
Oh,
detail.
it got me so good. The words that was coming out of the phone for him talking to the dog was so good.
It is. It's so there are so many throwaway lines that just made me go fall with laughter. It's actually
The
it's
way
so
that
good.
Joe Buck phrased just common things when
Yeah.
when he's listening to the radio, he said, "That's New York talking to us." That's good because they finally got a New York station, so that's New York talking to us.
There are a lot of great ones on the bus. He says, I only get carsick on boats."
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good line.
That's so funny.
car sick on
Um,
boats.
but it's so good too because like Joe Buck has this like idea of like when he gets to New York, it's gonna be like so good, and then he gets
Mhm.
there and like it's New York, so people are like, who the fuck's this tall cowboy looking
Yeah.
guy who has like a Texas accent? Like, get the fuck out of here, leave me alone.
I
I'm trying to
love
go to
how-
work or I'm trying to go home.
Yeah,
Like,
no
get
one
the fuck out of
cares.
my way.
That's when Ratso Rizzo comes into
Yeah, I
play.
was gonna say he ends up caring for Ratso Rizzo.
Yeah.
Just the fucking Dustin Hoffman's like, hey John Schlesinger, how many little like bits can I do
Oh,
like
man.
as like a character? Like, can I have a limp? He's like, yeah, you can have a limp. He's like, can I like have like a really bad cough? He's like, okay, that's okay, sure. And he's like, can I fucking just like talk like I have this accent? He's like, okay, Dustin, no
Can I
more
be
things
wet?
though.
I
You
need
have
to be
3 things.
soaking wet. I need to be sweating.
Can my hair be like just slick the whole movie?
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
Ratso Rizzo is the slickest man in cinema for sure.
Yeah.
His performance is so like so many people today, like young actors, probably watch his performance and are like, I gotta do that, and then it's like horrible. Like it's just only
Yeah,
Dustin
yeah.
Hoffman is like the only one who could have done it and gotten away with it.
Well, but do we know what his illness is? No, right?
Just as he has like urinary incontinence, which is just when like he pees himself.
Oh, okay. Well, he doesn't die of that.
Yeah.
That's what did it. And that's what did it.
He died doing what he loved.
He died of embarrassment.
Damn. That sucks. That's how I'm gonna go one day.
That's it. He pissed himself on the bus and he died of embarrassment.
Shit.
He said, Joe, don't tell anybody, all right? Don't tell anybody.
And Joe told
And Joe tell everybody.
He's
Everybody.
like, hey, my friend pissed.
Yeah. I do think, I mean, Rizzo there's a ton of great moments that you could pick up what the favorite is of him, but the one that made me laugh out loud, like the most out loud, was when he does start caring for Joe Buck and he takes him into his apartment and he's trying to get him to sleep. There's a small little moment where he climbs up on the counter to shut the shade that's already very broken and not doing anything blocking light, and he moved it an inch. He moved it ever so slightly, but he put so much care to getting up there and closing it. You got to rewatch that. It made me laugh so much.
It's so sweet though. Like Rizzo doesn't have any friends, or at least it's not clear that he does. You know, Joe Buck is kind of his only pal, and he's just trying to look after him. He's got no one else to look after. So it's nice that he does those things and takes off his shoes while he's sleeping.
Yeah, I think he wants to. I think he wants to impress Joe Buck, even though he lives in a fucking abandoned, condemned building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like wants to be like, this is a home. Like, sleep on this like probably fucking flea infested, like dirty couch that I have. I'm gonna close these like shattered blinds. I'm gonna cook food in like the dirtiest pans. And just like cut up random ingredients that I was managed to steal today.
What was he slicing with the razor? Was that a lime? What was he putting? I couldn't make it out.
I have no idea.
But he does it. It's cool because the same technique and same food that he's doing in his little apartment in the dream scene when they're in Miami, he was doing the same thing.
Oh, that's great.
It was cool. Awesome. He was cooking. He was still cooking the same way, but in a larger scale, like, you know, a little bit more grand for people. But he's doing the same thing with the razor, though.
That's funny. His whole dream sequence, I think, just really shows how alike he and Joe are.
Yes,
because Rizzo's delusional too. He's like, I'm gonna go to Miami. I'm gonna strike it rich off of this kid.
Off of him.
Yeah. Who's just gonna be he's gonna be a successful hustler. We're gonna have a whole crew of old ladies, and we're just gonna be rich in Miami.
That dream, like, I wanted that to be a short film. I would love to watch like an hour of just scenes of that, because I mean, it was filmed much differently too, so it's a whole different like shot.
It's like very colorful, yeah.
But it's so fun. Like, there's a lot of things that weren't explained that they're just not going to explain. But it's like given up. Oh, well, that's what it's like when they're in Miami, of course. Like, you know, him just in underwear playing guitar. Like, there's so many good things where I would love to watch like alternate takes of that, or just like an hour of them living in Miami. I think it'd be amazing.
So, Mike, what's your deal, huh? Why do you hate Midnight Cowboy?
I don't hate Midnight Cowboy. I like that. I mean, I do like this movie. I think it's good. I don't really know what my deal is with it. Because like the more we're talking about it, like Andrew, you saying like you haven't really seen anything like this before. Maybe it's just like I have, and so it's not. I'm just saying it's like not.
Name three other movies. Name three other movies that follow the same format of this, please.
Name three.
Cheaper by the dozen. The importance of being earnest.
You know what? Actually, do you know what I did get a lot of similarity was the King of Comedy. Just a little bit with the delusion, the New York City and the delusion and the dreams of like portraying of what it would look like if that scenario worked out for that person.
Totally. I see that. Yeah.
There was a lot of that, and that's a great movie.
Yeah, Andrew, you should watch The King of Comedy. I think you'd really like it. Such a good Robert De Niro performance in that one.
I still haven't seen Brazil. I gotta hold.
Oh yeah, watch that first.
Yeah. Ryan, go to camera 2.
Huh? Oh yeah, you had to watch Brazil first.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm switching back.
Okay, go back.
It's weird. Switch. What the fuck? Are you saying mine's orange?
Yeah, mine's orange too. I got a whole orange hue on right now.
Wait, when is this? Is this by design?
We're orange now. That's it. You just gotta accept it.
The switch from camera to camera, it's like, because the sound when you switch to the laptop camera, the sound, for some reason, even though I know it's coming from the same place, still sounds like it's coming from this camera, if that makes sense. Like, it sounds far away.
Yeah, well, the mic I'm using is that camera.
Oh, you are using a mic?
Yeah, I'm using all the way over there.
Okay, that's why
don't you use the mic? This is so off topic, but why don't you use the mic from the closer computer?
Well, I felt that the quality of the mic and the nice camera would be better. So I said, even though it's further away, it might be better quality.
Last time you had 7 different mics and none of them were
Yeah,
plugged in.
they weren't plugged in though.
I do like this movie. The more I thought about it, like I do think it's a really, I've already kind of mentioned it, but I do think it's a really good exploration of a character, Joe Buck, who after like he's in the flashbacks you learn that he was him and his girl, like his girlfriend, I guess she's her girlfriend Anna. She's his girlfriend Anna. They were both raped by like this
What?
the way I saw it was like he was with this group of guys, then he fell in love with Anna, and they would like bother these guys would bother her. He fell in love with Anna, then he started like going off with Anna separately from the guys. They found out, and then they raped him and Anna.
What?
That tracks too.
That's my understanding.
What did you think, Anna? You think
because they pull his pants
followed it?
off at one point. You see like his butt for like a brief second.
They pull his pants off and then they do like an enema thing. Like,
Oh, do they?
I don't know
Yeah.
what that part confused me. I wanted to learn more about
I'm
that.
confused by all of this. This is not what I had no idea that this
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, that was my understanding. And so like from my perspective, like reading it that way, I was like, it's a really interesting for a guy who has like suffered this traumatic event, witnessed his girlfriend going through something traumatic, is like, I'm actually going to become the like American ideal of masculinity, the cowboy, and then I'm gonna have sex with older women because I'll be irresistible. Like just like retreating into like I'm not sexually weak, or I'm not weak as a man. I'm just gonna like fully commit to those things, and then but it doesn't work out because like he's traumatized and like
Whoa.
Also like he's not the image he is trying to portray.
That is heavy, man.
So you enjoyed the film. So you really enjoyed the film, I take it.
No, it kind of sucks. No, I do like this movie. I think it's very interesting. I would definitely rewatch it. I think it's a very rewatchable for the most part movie. Obviously there's some heavy stuff in it, but I do think it's really interesting.
Yeah, I would like to know more about the Anna and what happened. Obviously something negative happened with him and her and the friend group. I just don't know which way it went down.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just intentionally vague, and I didn't really know what happened. Like it seemed like they were doing something with those guys, but I didn't really know what it was. And then I know that they got in trouble for it, but maybe they did because they show police officers at one point.
Well,
and
she gets taken away. They said that she went crazy and like went to like a psych ward.
Yeah, she does end up in a psych ward. Cut to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
The Best Picture Cinematic Universe.
They're all connected.
The BCEU.
The BCEU.
No, the BPEU, excuse me.
Right. But that was my... I just thought it was...
Whatever.
We got it. We got it.
Yeah.
We got it first take, dude. We got
Who cares?
it.
Who cares?
Yeah, I thought
nailed it.
I thought that was just intentionally vague, like it's kind of up to you. And maybe it still kind of is. I mean, you guys shed more light on it than I knew before, but it's still, I guess, a little vague.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean though, because like even the grandma stuff is like the way that's depicted. I'm a little bit like, what is his relationship with his grandma? Is it just that he loves his grandma? Because it seems like they're suggesting maybe something a little bit more complicated, but I don't really know.
Yeah,
Well,
at first I thought so, but then I don't think so. I don't know.
Right.
Well, it's funny because the first 15 minutes, I feel like I'm like, wow, I feel like I know Joe Buck. Like they do have those interspersed flashbacks, and I'm like, this is a great introduction to a character. I feel like I know this person's motivations, and I'm excited to see, what he does in New York. And then I think as it goes on, I kind of know less about him.
Yeah.
Because you're right, the grandma thing is a little bit shaky. Like at first, it seems like, oh, he kind of idolized her. She raised him. It's a very sweet relationship. But then it seems like maybe she did some things that upset him, or maybe she was overly religious? ?
Yeah, there's definitely that.
Yeah.
Right. That's actually, I really like that read of like like you get the movies, especially the first half is sort of front loaded with all these flashbacks, and then as the movie goes on, they sort of fall away.
Is it?
And then like, so you think you're grounded with who Joe Buck is, but then like I want to talk about the scene where he like, this guy is gonna pay him for sex, and then like he's like, I don't have any money, and then like Joe Buck beats him up, but like maybe he kills him.
Yeah, he never answers that.
Yeah.
It's left unresolved. You don't
Yeah.
And
know
it's
for
like,
sure.
oh, that complicates who I think this guy is.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
pretty
big
crazy. And
time.
then all the
Yeah.
flashback and even like the projections, like I think, like you said, Andrew, in the beginning, for the first 15 minutes, you're getting all these flashbacks, but because you're watching a movie, in your mind, you're supposed to be thinking, well, that's what happened because he's seeing it in his head. It's a flashback, but it could be how he thought it happened, how
Yeah.
he wanted it to happen. So as you watch the movie more, you realize that some of these are dreams, some of these are what he wanted, and you really don't know this guy at all. And you think that in the beginning, like you said, like, oh yeah, of course that's what happened with his grandma. And then you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, none of that could have been real at all. That could have just been what he wanted it to be like, but it could complete opposite.
Yeah, he becomes
Totally.
increasingly more unreliable.
Yes, yeah, it's unreliable.
Fuck it, I'm bumping this movie up half a star.
All
4
right.
stars.
Hey.
Talk it through.
Because
Also,
it's true. That is interesting. That is like the idea of like dreams and flashbacks being
Yeah.
different, and even like how their dreams and flashbacks are inherently subjective depending on whose they are, and like that's fucking interesting shit.
it's
Yeah, man.
crazy.
This movie's like Shrek, you know. It's like an ogre. It's got layers.
Totally. Yeah, that's why as soon as I turned it on, I was like, this is a lot like Shrek, huh?
Did you guys catch the Wes Anderson universe cross?
No.
Really? You
What is
didn't?
it? What part?
In the movie theater, the younger kid that gives him the blowjob at the movie theater, that is none other than his name. I don't know his
Checks
name,
his
but
notes.
Bob Balaban. That's the narrator from Moonrise Kingdom as a young adult.
What?
Bob Balaban?
Yeah, that was him.
The
Holy
W-
shit!
This is part of the WACU?
Oh my god, it was.
Yeah.
You know, when that kid, I was like, he kind of has a familiar vibe.
Yes, that's the
Holy shit.
narrator of the island, giving all the stories in Wes
Yeah.
Anderson in Moonrise.
I love Bob
What?
Balaban. He's also
I
great
know.
in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
How do you have that written down on your paper? Do you have him written down as blowjob guy?
It says blowjob in the movie theater. Yeah,
I mean, in fairness, he's credited as blowjob guy, so
a young Bob Balaban. Also, they kept using. I don't know if you guys were trying to figure it out, but they kept using like the monetary value of like $10. Like $10 seemed to be for like everything. Like give me another 10 and 10. I was like, how much is $10 in
I could tell
1969?
I could tell you,
Give me.
it's got to be at least like $135,000.
Yeah.
They really struck it. They did really well.
No, how much? What is it actually?
His 69 conversion was about $83.
Whoa. That actually is,
Okay.
I mean,
So
yeah.
they were getting tens, 20. He got $20 from that one after like the Warhol-esque party. That's pretty good.
But he also
Yeah.
burned cash fast.
He did very fast,
He lost,
and he
lost
sold
20
his
to
radio.
Rizzo.
Yeah, he did lose 20 really quick.
You
You're
also-
right.
Rip.
He travels to Texas with just a wallet full of cash. That's
Yeah.
it. And I'm
That's
like,
it.
or he travels to New York, I should say.
Yeah.
And I was like, how far do you think that you have? Like what, $300? Like this isn't gonna last.
Well, I guess he figured I'm just gonna start.
He thought
raking
it
in as a
was
hustler.
it was gonna take off right away.
He was
Yeah.
gonna, he was gonna work immediately. I mean, that Statue of Liberty pickup line.
pretty good.
that's pretty damn good.
I think John Voight looks like handsome Squidward. Thoughts?
Ooh, yeah,
No.
he's got that chin. Yeah. I'm with you.
I'll put a side by side, but I don't think so. I think you're
I
off.
see it. I do.
What do you guys think of the Warhol sort of psychedelic party of like these kind of pretentious fuckers filming people at their party?
I thought it was so absurd, but like
Yeah.
but it didn't feel out of place. It felt very 70s. I mean, I've never lived in the 70s before, but I felt like that kind of stuff happened, perhaps.
Out of the whole movie, that was probably the one part where like I could have gotten up and like gone to the bathroom and come back. It would have been all right.
I like when Ratso Rizzo is like stealing the cold cuts. I think
That's great.
I think it's funny. I think it's also just like I also feel bad for him. Like he's so like because that at that point he's like actually getting sick.
Yeah, it's a bad.
And he's like
part.
sweating. He's like wants to leave and he's like fucking starving. I just like feel sorry for him.
And he just collapsed.
But it's also funny that he's stuffing
And then
meat
he
in his
falls,
pockets.
and then Joe leaves. He just watches him fall, and he's like, "I'm gonna leave. I'm having sex with this girl for $20, all right?"
And that lady says to him like, "Hey fella, you fell." It's like now's not the time, quirky
Ugh.
New York lady. This
And
man
then,
is sick.
and then, is that the turn where Joe gets a little bit high and mighty all of a sudden, where he's like, he starts buying groceries and whatnot, and he's
Well,
like,
yeah, because he sleeps with that lady.
Yeah.
By the way, that sex scene is so funny because they're playing like scribbage
Yeah.
yeah,
and like they have sex on like the board, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god, you're probably getting like poked and it's like stepping on Legos. Like it's
Yeah.
probably like that.
it's probably
Um,
so painful, but like, it kind of added to it a little bit because it's like it's one of those things where it's just like, you know what, it's got to be right here, right now, and then
right.
just over the
And then there's
scrimmage
like
board.
and then there's like Western music that's like blaring. It's like
I'd say,
it's fucking ecstasy of gold.
How is this not a 5-star experience? This is incredible. What incredible
Yeah.
filmmaking.
You're talking yourself into 5 stars.
That's amazing.
Right. I mean, then that lady is like, oh yeah, my friend actually would probably she's talking on the phone about him. She's like, honestly, you need to get yourself some of this guy. And he's like, she's like, are you good for Thursday? And he's like, let me think. Yeah, I guess I'm good.
When she's on the phone, he's in the bathroom pouring her perfume into his boots.
Oh my god, yeah.
He's so pure and likable, and then you kind of hope that he takes to New York in a positive way, but by the end, it's like he, obviously he beats that guy up to the point where maybe he's dead, we don't know, and then it really complicates him. So now it's like, it's something that you just go back and think about. Like, I think he becomes more than just a one-dimensional, golden doodle type guy. He becomes something that you think about.
Yeah, it's interesting too, like, as like New York starts to open up for him, that's when like Ratso gets like really sick.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, now I'm actually just set on getting this guy to Miami before, like, because I think it'll cure him. He's even naive about that. He's like, he doesn't need to go to the hospital. He just needs to like get what he wants.
Yeah, he wants to just take
and he'll
him
be
down
okay.
to Miami.
But
That's
it
true.
results in a really beautiful final act where they're on a bus, just like how it started, and Rizzo doesn't make it. He pisses his pants, and that was it. That's all she wrote.
That's it. They got some nice floral shirts. I did like when they showed him on the window, like kind of ending, and then the palm trees did you see the reflection of the palm trees over Dustin Hoffman's face because he loved the palm trees? That was awesome.
Yeah, that was
I love
beautiful.
that.
Totally.
And I was like, man, that's good. That's
And
real good.
there's nothing I'm a sucker for more than laughter in the face of sadness. Like when he wets his pants and Joe Buck is like, you didn't piss your pants. You took a rest stop that wasn't on the schedule. That's all.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
That's good.
That's the first time Joe Buck is like, all right, I'll call you Rizzo, not Ratso.
Right. and then in the back seat, Rizzo is he's off screen. Joe Buck's talking about like, man, when we get to fucking Miami, it's gonna be so good. And then like Rizzo, you hear like one cough, and then he looks over and he's dead.
Damn, heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's sad.
But then in the credits, they credit him as Ratso, and I was like, that's a little
Really?
fucked up. Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
Like I thought
The
that was
movie
a
doesn't
weird
respect
touch.
him.
No, even the movie, yeah.
I didn't like that.
Well, I mean, he was called Ratso more than Rizzo.
Yeah, but like that was his whole thing. Like that was like his final words was to say, "Hey, you should call me Rizzo from now on. I don't want anybody calling me Ratso." And Schlesinger's like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, he said, "Fuck yeah, he's Ratsy."
Hoffman probably pissed him off on set. He's like, "Fuck
That's
yeah."
what it was. Yeah, fucking Ratso.
Do we have any final thoughts on Midnight Cowboy?
Yeah, I have a quick game. I got a game.
Yeah, you have a thing.
I have a segment.
Yeah, this is our first guest segment.
Yeah.
So, do you have a name for it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
All right. So the segment here, it's called "I'm Walking There."
I put my pants on one leg at a time.
It's the hit game that uses key locations solely based on the history of events in Christopher Walken's life. You need to guess how long it would take to walk to these said locations from 58th and 6th Avenue, where the taxi scene was filmed and when the "I'm Walking Here" occurred. All right. So I'm going to give you locations.
Wait a second.
Excuse me?
There's so many layers to this. Okay, so these are moments in Christopher Walken's life.
No, the locations have to do with Christopher Walken.
Okay.
Okay.
But you need to guess how long it would take to walk
from 58th and 6th.
from where I'm walking here scene happened to these said locations.
Okay.
And the locations are tied into Christopher Walken.
Okay.
How long would it take to walk to Walken's? Christopher Walken's father's business, a local bakery located on 29th Broadway, Astoria, Queens. How long would it take to walk
it's in Queens.
to Astoria, Queens?
So you got to cross a bridge.
Yeah, what bridge do you have to cross?
I didn't write that down.
Well, so that'll probably take you like, I would say 3.5 hours.
I'll say 5.
No, it would only take an hour 17.
Really?
3.4 miles.
Actually,
God,
okay.
New York is beautiful. Look at that.
Okay, because you're in Midtown. Because where's the taxi scene?
It's on 58th and 6th Avenue on the east side.
Okay.
All right, so now you got that. All right, so here's an easy one. The set of SNL at 30 Rock, where the classic "I Need My Cowbell" sketch occurred.
That's gonna take maybe like 30 minutes.
22 minutes.
I take it back. It's like
you guys
15.
You guys like know New York better than I do.
I'm gonna say
you've walked it more.
16 minutes.
11 minutes.
Okay, pretty good.
It's very close. 0.5 miles. Very, very close.
Nice.
All right, here's a tough one. Here we go. How long would it take to walk to the ferry stop to Catalina Island, California, where the Natalie Wood incident occurred?
I don't even know what that is, but I'm gonna
say. What does Christopher Walken have to do with Natalie Wood?
You don't know about the boat?
But was he on the boat?
Oh yes, he was on the boat, and he was hit. Oh, there's a deep thing about why she died that night, and Christopher Walken and her husband.
Oh fuck! I didn't know he was on the boat.
Oh yeah, look into that one. Anyway,
we'll talk. Andrew, we'll talk about Natalie Wood in the West Side Story episode.
Okay, great. I got a question. Is this like counting rest stops? Because you're
no. This is straight through. This is straight through.
Just robot legs powered straight through to California.
New York to California, walking.
Yeah.
I would say 18 days.
Way more than that.
Really?
I was gonna say 65 days.
42 and a half.
How many?
42.5.
Are we doing Price is Right rules? Because then I got that point.
Then yeah, you win.
Okay.
So it's 2,839 miles.
Damn.
And the last one. There we go. Winner takes all. Here we go. How long would it take to walk to Grumman Studios in Bethpage, Long Island, the location of the 2014 live television special of Peter Pan, where Christopher Walken played Hook?
God, that's gotta be.
That's like 7 hours. No,
11. I'm gonna say 18 hours.
Yeah, 22 hours. Let's just stick with 22.
10 hours and 41 minutes.
Really? Faster than I thought.
28.4 miles.
Like, you wouldn't do it in that short of time. Like, I walked the circumference of Manhattan. That took me like 12 hours.
Well, you have to do it in that time. That's what Google said.
You have to do, or else you just combust. That's it.
That's it.
We should do an episode where we just walk from New York to where the taxi scene happens all the way to California.
Let's really just do good. I think that's a good episode. It's a good summer app.
Yeah, good summer app. That'll be our summer series.
Not bad.
A nice segment, Ryan. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was a good segment.
Very fun. I like coming up with it.
Would you guys like to hear the other Best Picture nominees for 1970?
Yes. I didn't even Google it because I knew you were going to list them.
Thanks, bud. Also, ironically, John Wayne won Best Actor this year for his performance as Rooster Cogburn in True Grit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Why is that ironic?
My dad.
Because Midnight Cowboy.
Right now, my dad has a John Wayne calendar in our kitchen.
He has a what?
A John Wayne calendar in my parents' kitchen.
That's why.
I don't know. I love coming home and seeing that up. And every month is just a different John Wayne, giving like a mean mug picture.
And no months either. It's just a picture of John Wayne's face.
It's John Wayne.
Yeah, you know what month this is. This is July.
When it's fucking Rio Bravo, you know it's got to be June.
Absolutely.
Other nominees this year. We have Anne of the Thousand Days. Ever heard of it?
Labored title.
Directed by Charles Jarrett, or it's a J, so I'm assuming it's Jarrett.
Sure.
It's about Henry VIII, of England, discards his wife, Catherine of Aragon, who has failed to produce a male heir in favor of the young and beautiful Anne Boleyn.
Aragon. Aragon's the spider's name in Harry Potter.
It's not true. Aragon
I don't
is
think
a
that's
different movie. That's the kid with the dragon.
Yeah, you're thinking of the dragon.
Nah. Oh, Aragog.
Aragog, that's what it is. You got it.
Pretty close.
Next up, we have, honestly, I would have given the gold to this movie.
Oh.
I mean, I haven't seen all the nominees, but I fucking love this movie. We have Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Whoa.
Um,
Cassidy.
a George Roy Hill joint, an absolute masterpiece about the titular Butch and the titular Cass.
And the titular son.
Ryan, you've probably seen this movie, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Andrew?
No dice.
I think you'd really like it.
I'd still give it to Midnight Cowboy.
Okay. It's got a great use of raindrops keep falling on my head.
Ooh.
Yes, it does.
I'm here for that.
Next up, we have Hello, Dolly.
Isn't that a play?
Yeah, I think so. Or a musical, but yeah. Directed by Gene Kelly, the famous song and dance man, starring Barbra Streisand, Walter Matthau, just one of the best faces in cinema.
Beefy name.
It's about Dolly Levi, who's a strong-willed matchmaker, and travels to Yonkers, New York, in order to see the miserly, well-known, unmarried half-a-millionaire Horace Vandergelder.
Whoa.
In doing
to be a wealthy, miserly,
in Yonkers,
half a millionaire.
In
That's
doing so,
dream.
she convinces his niece's intended, and Horace's two clerks to travel to New York City.
No,
I don't know. I'd watch it, I guess. Barbara, you got to give it up for Barbara. Come on.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking at me.
Yeah. Can't beat that.
I agree. And finally, we have a movie I hadn't heard of, but I added it to my list to watch because it sounds fucking good. It's called just Z, or Zed if you're in like Australia.
We're not.
Directed by Costa Gavras. Probably mispronouncing that, and I apologize.
Costa Gavras.
That was it.
Repression is the rule of the day in this film that skewers Greek governance of the 1960s. Z, a leftist rabble-rouser, is killed in what appears to be a traffic accident. But given the political climate, the death of such a prominent activist raises troubling questions. Though it's too late to save Z's life, a post-mortem examination suggests that the ruling party was behind his death. As the facts leak out, those who tell the truth pay the price for their honesty. It's like a political thriller about the haves and the have-nots.
Z, more like catching Z's. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I tuned out. I didn't even want to know what the Z movie was about.
Something about Aragorn or something.
I think it was that movie with the fucking, I think it was Howard the Duck, I think.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck is some sort of rich miser spider.
Yeah, he's some like half a millionaire rich miser spider in Yonkers.
He's trying to court a giant spider, and they're walking the streets of Tallahassee.
That's it.
God, what a masterpiece in the making.
Those are the movies of the year 1970.
Why is it sometimes there are like 100 and sometimes there are 2?
It's like, I think like maybe around the 50s or 60s or maybe like the 50s they decide to only do 5. At one point. Yeah, when you go back far enough, it's like, oh, there's 12 nominees. But then for like decades, it was 5. And then in 2009, they changed it back to 10. Up to 10. You don't have to fill out all 10, but usually they do. They do all 10.
Got it.
I don't know. The Academy doesn't they can't come up with hard and fast rules. They have to change it every goddamn second.
Midnight Cowboy, Best Picture worthy. That's me.
Yeah, I think it's Best Picture worthy. I think it's an important movie that I think everyone should see it. Truly.
This ain't your daddy's Best Picture winner, I'll tell you that much.
Not.
I said that at the beginning. He was kind of taking what I said.
This ain't your mom
and
dad's.
Right. Yeah, Andrew, it is not like your dad's movie.
You're right. Thank you.
No, I said something like that. I said like a kind of like
Andrew kind of nailed it. Andrew actually nailed it. It's not a movie for your dad. In 1969, it's not your dad's movie.
What about it's not your granddaddy's picture?
No, it's not quite what I said.
TV.
No, it's not. Yeah, Andrew said it's not your daddy's picture.
What about if it's not your great grandpappy's radio play?
Just drop it, man. You're not gonna stick the landing on this.
Grandfather has nothing to do with it. It's just that.
Sorry.
Your sister probably loves this movie, right? It's a good one.
That actually is a good one.
That tracks. That tracks.
Would you gentlemen
yeah.
like to hear the truth about Midnight Cowboy?
Yes.
All right, so I found some reviews from some folks via the internet. Ryan, give me the name of just a decrepit, sad little gremlin man.
Darius.
Okay. Darius says 1 star.
Wow.
I stumbled into this queer movie. Avoid. Spoiler alert. Wow. Academy Award winning. Dustin Hoffman. Jon Voight. Sounds great so far. How wrong I was. The first warning was the outfit Voight wears throughout. He looks like a $3 bill. He decides to go to New York under the misguided notion that there will be many lonely women since all the dudes are queer. I think he really was thinking only about the second part of that idea deep down. He quickly runs out of money, oddly enough, since he doesn't have a job, and arrives with maybe $40 in his pocket, and resorts to letting curious dudes go down on him in his shady theater. He somehow hooks up with a very greasy Dustin Hoffman who hasn't brushed his teeth, ever it appears. Voight decides to shack up with him in his condemned building penthouse. They eat gruel and shiver the nights away. Does it sound good so far? Why did I watch this far into the movie? I never did watch the end, but I'm guessing it doesn't get any better.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you,
Damn.
Darius.
Darius.
Darius, you need a...
Darius, chill out.
I mean,
Chill out.
Darius is just explaining the movie.
Yeah, Darius, I mean, pretty solid summation, except, it's not quite so... We don't feel so negatively about it. And frankly, Darius, that's pretty homophobic of you, so...
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk about this. This is kind of like a foundational queer movie. I feel like like it's never overtly stated whether Joe Buck or Rizzo are in love with each other. I mean, they do have love for each other, but like if they're like romantically or like sexually attracted to each other, but it's I don't know. It's like I don't really know. It's like a really
Yeah.
I mean,
it was surprising reading a lot of the reviews and people being like, because I guess I didn't really see it that way. I don't really know why. Maybe I should watch it again. But like a lot of people in the Letterboxd reviews were like, so gay, love it. And I was like, oh, totally.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, it explores. I mean, it's not stated if Joe Buck, identify like what his sexuality is, hard and fast. But like he does come to grips with homosexuality, and it plays it. This is one of the rare movies, especially in this era, that play with those ideas. So
yeah.
I would say that's groundbreaking for sure.
Yeah. No, totally.
Michael, give me the name of a dog who's stuck behind the fence.
I'm kind of thinking Darius.
Okay, yeah. I like
That
that.
works.
I like
Hey,
that.
that does
I like
work.
that. Darius says 2 stars. This one's short and sweet. Joe Buck? More like Joe Stinky. And that's the kind of feedback we condone on Oscar Wieners. We like that. We like to see that. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole review. That's it. Last one I'll read. Ryan, give me the name of another, just a sad, stinky little potato person.
Franken.
Franken?
Yeah.
Okay, Franken says, una stella.
Huh.
This is kind of unrelated, but my Blu-ray had skipping and freezing issues at the beginning and end of this creep fest. This movie is creepy all day. Voight plays a creepy leather fruit, and Hoffman plays a creepy street trash bum. The movie has no point but just to watch 2 idiots do nothing but look stupid doing what stupid people that don't think right do.
Oh man. Franken, that's fucked.
That's fuck, Franken. Unbelievable. Can't have it.
Why are people so mean on the internet?
Everybody chill out. Everybody just chill out, man.
Ryan, thank you so much for coming back.
Thanks for the time.
We'll chat again in another 20 or so episodes. I won't.
You could come back early. You can come back.
I mean, yeah, you could choose. You don't just have to do Dustin Hoffman.
I kind of more camera angles. I think I'm gonna do a bigger multi-cam setup next time.
Next week we're talking about the 2021.
What?
Yeah, Best Picture winner, Nomadland.
Oh,
directed by Chloe Zhao.
Wow.
Starring Frances McDormand.
All right. Okay, we're going into the future now.
Yeah, we're going back to the 2020s.
Okay.
impressive. All right.
A totally normal Oscar year, where nothing globally was affecting the ceremony.
Oh, thank goodness, because I'm sick of all this COVID stuff. You know what I mean?
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. Ryan, do you have any hot dog suggestions or sort of hot dog adjacent, like bratwurst, sausage, sort of tips for grilling or preparing?
Yeah, not for the dog itself. I've been into like caramelized onions lately. Just putting some, like really, really just like letting them sit on the stovetop and get them nice and kind of that orange kind of color.
That's good. That turns a hot dog into like almost like a gourmet kind of meal.
So good.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you guys stand on relish, but lately Lex and I got into an argument about relish. She thinks it's too sweet. I enjoy relish, but
I don't know honestly if I've had relish
it's
ever.
Extremely strange. It is weird. It's just tiny, tiny cut up pickles, but it's kind of sweet. It's like pickle ketchup. It's weird, but I like it.
I mean, Mike has suggested submerging yourself entirely in relish in a few
I
of
don't
these.
recall that. I think that's fake news.
We literally have it on record.
I would never say that. Cover yourselves in relish and stick yourselves between two crispy buns.
God damn it.
All right, cool. So put some caramelized onions on your dogs and, and stick them where the sun don't shine.
That's it.
God, it's amazing.
See you later, Wieners. Fucking Christ.
2, 3, 4.
These boys only want the best stuff. They want the cream of the crop. They don't want none of that Michael Bay shit. They want the shit that bops. Oscar bait, black and white. Maybe something French. If it's got more than one explosion, honey, put that shit on the bench. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. These boys are the Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners.
All right. I guess we'll go to bed.
Yeah, I guess until next time.
All right, till next time, folks.
See you, boys.
Bye, boys. Good night.
Bye.